welcome to the O Show with Orlana, your connection to events, topical interests, issues, and the movers and shakers in our world, and the opportunity to learn things that make you say, oh. Today on the O Show, we are celebrating 35 years of legacy, leadership, and the power of Black women who lead with purpose. My guest is the visionary founder of Onyx Woman, a trusted platform that has amplified and honored African American women in corporate leadership, entrepreneurship, politics, and nonprofit service for more than 3 decades. As my guest prepares for the 2026 Onyx Woman Leadership Awards reception on Thursday, May 7th, she continues her mission of uplifting women who lead, serve, and create lasting impact in their communities. Please join me in welcoming the founder of Onyx Woman, Miss Ola Jackson. Ola, welcome to the O Show.
Thank you. Now, this is really the O Show today. You don't get no more O-er than this, right? But thank you for having me. 35. You should be close. How many you got behind you?
Oh, wow. You know, I never took the time to add up. I think I'm on your heels.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm on your heels.
30,
I don't think I'm in 30 yet. I think I'm in I might be like 25.
Well, that's time for a party.
I gotta add up my years in service. But yeah, that's a good question.
35 years. I didn't think it'd be 35 years. No, I didn't think this far out.
I didn't either.
I didn't think this far out.
There was a part of me I didn't really think it was going to work, but
we could have a whole an all-day conference on the ups and downs of running a business. Nope. Even when you're a micro entrepreneur, but it's been 35 years. And the important thing is when you have to pivot. Yep. You know, that's like we were talking earlier, like when you have to pivot in business, when you are going in one direction. And then something says, oh, I think I better go this other way so that your comfort zone doesn't become a danger zone. You know, I started in completely public relations.
I know.
It was some groundbreaking.
That's where actually I was going to start. So this is a perfect segue because I was going to say when I first met you, you were in public relations. And I think you actually and I was also in public relations, right? And you gave me a project to work with you in your agency. I'm not sure, I won't name names, but I won't name names, but you were, it's nothing bad. But you were working on a big project in the city of Pittsburgh in the Hill District. And you asked me to come along and I wrote a press release for your agency and did things, but that was my first time meeting you. Then I remember you launched Onyx Woman newsletter. And then I remember I was a member of Pentecostal Temple in East Liberty, and because I had worked with you when you were in PR, you were like, would it be okay if I leave some of my newsletters at the church? So I talked to whoever I had to talk to, agreed, and I remember, and I think it was monthly. Was it monthly?
It was monthly.
Okay. I remember every month you would come to the church and we would put them on this the podium thing that we had there. And then I saw the Onyx Woman newsletter come to life as magazine. So I know for me personally, it was just awesome just to see your growth as a Black woman in PR, but you're finding your way. I think what we often don't celebrate are those where you have to start small in your small. You started with a monthly newsletter, and just each season of becoming an entrepreneur and into your own, you keep developing this brand. So take us back to what was happening in your life and in Pittsburgh that made you say, African American women need a platform, whether it was the newsletter, the magazine, you have the Onyx Woman channel. you're a fashion stylist, influencer, like it's really developed. So what made you at the time, especially when you became the producer of the newsletter, that you said, African American women in Pittsburgh need this platform?
I was actually what I seldom mention, even when I do my stylish ways. I went to school for fashion merchandising and got a degree. And so
Okay.
when I started out going to job training programs, talking about how to transition from welfare to work. And I would take my own clothes in and I would demonstrate to the ladies, this is what's appropriate for the workforce. What I realized is that they were not paying any attention. Mm-hmm. And so I said, what if I put it in writing? They would have something to hold with them and take it. And so I did the first newsletter. And I always tell people this because they need to know it was an absolute disaster. And there were more disasters. And I was like, oh my God. I always say I should be in a witness protection program. That is why I'm not hard on people when I see their mishaps. Mm-hmm. But I just kept going back and back and back. And it grew. At one point, I just added color to the cover. And then we added a color photo. Then it was full blown. And then one day, it was actually in the grocery stores. I just kept pushing and hoping. And then the final hard copy, because that was a pivot around our 25th anniversary, we were on the newsstands, and I was on the cover of that one. And Michelle Obama was right next to it on the cover of the Style magazine. And I look back, I said, I'm glad I decided to do that because I didn't have any experience in writing or communications. And when I find some of the old newsletters, I tell myself, oh, don't be embarrassed, even though you should be. But I just say I still tried, and it evolved into a little TV show. Even when we did the TV, I tried to raise money to be on public access television. And people said, you're not getting money for that. And I did. Mm-hmm. I got money to go on public access television, and it was the Onyx Woman Network. Mm-hmm. And so that was something, but I just hung in there. We didn't have a lot of social media.
Right.
We didn't have all this and the internet.
We had no social media.
No social media. So really, it was, and I keep telling people, you got to keep pushing and pushing because people give up too soon and they don't handle the back end of their business. I mean, there's some stuff. I'm at 2:00 in the morning. I'm trying to get sponsors and writing grants and everything, but that became, it just evolved from that to the magazine. And then as I got older, I said, well, people my age, they've evolved with me. So why can't address things that pertain to self-care? And I can do it by talking about fashion and style first, because you'll always listen to that. Mm-hmm. And then throw in the self-care part. And so that's how we got to here. But it was 2 pivots. So understand, folks, you have got to pivot, get out of your comfort zone, which can be your danger zone, and try something new.
Well, first of all, I did not know about the fashion merchandising side. That makes sense because when I watch you on social media, I'm like, how does she know to take this sweater and switch it into a skirt? Like, I'm like, how is she thinking? But that explains it. Okay, that explains it.
And people, I look at that and say, I don't think I've ever mentioned in all those times that I actually went to school for fashion merchandising, got a degree, and actually worked in retailing.
No, you never told us
that. It has never been said. And so what I do now is I reach back for that information and pulled it towards what I'm doing now.
This is actually going to be breaking news. But yeah, that explains it. But I'm like, how does she know to take, a piece of string and make it into a belt? Like, you just come up with these ideas. So that explains it. Mm-hmm. So 35 years, again, mm-hmm. This is no small accomplishment. When you reflect on the journey of Onyx mm-hmm. Woman, what are you most proud of? And what did it cost you to sustain this vision?
I think I'm most proud of the fact that I stuck with it, and it aligned with why I actually started the business. As you know, I have a son who has autism. And back then, when we first discovered it, it wasn't labeled autism right away. He was intellectually development issue, and they didn't give it a title. So they finally gave it a title, and I knew that one of us, my husband or I, had to be accessible to him. And I couldn't do that in corporate America. I had to start my own business. So that's the most proud. And I look at now and see how that worked in the line with growing a business and growing him, that they were in sync with my values. And so that's what I look back most as far as something positive. I also look back and think of the financial struggle, that if you have a business and you have a family, it's a family business, and everybody has to pay a price. And I think there was frustration there. But I look at it now and say, well, it's paid off. Okay, and we're good. Okay. So that was the hardest part, because you have to invest in yourself with that business. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people who are not really investing in the business. I mean, it's cultivating relationships. There's so much more than the product.
Right. Right. And you spotlighted influential women in corporate America, entrepreneurship, politics, nonprofit leadership. What has changed about Black women's leadership over the past 3 decades, and what challenges still remain?
Well, of course, on our 25th anniversary, we celebrated you. But what I'm seeing now that's changed, I am more passionate now than ever, because when I'm seeing what's happening to Black women in corporate America. These DEI departments, they were the people who spoke our names when we weren't in the room. That was representation. The year that you got your award, a lot of those people, all 25, had an impact on me getting there, whether it was you or some of the older women who were in corporate America, and they were not I wasn't in their league. So they were there to say, Ola Jackson's having this conference. We need to go ahead and give her some money. And there was like the Heinz Foundation. There was, some folks who Dollar Bank. I didn't know those people, but they spoke to me and for me. Now, what I'm seeing is Black women being accused of only having those positions because they're Black.
Right.
Well, I know that they have the challenges that other groups didn't have, yet they still made it. And while their lights are being dimmed, I insist on shining it as brightly as possible, because we have younger people coming up. I don't see where their hope is when we keep seeing all this. It's almost a war against Black women, as if for some reason all that education, because a lot of us who have made reached a certain goal, a level of success, we came from single parents. We came from parents who did not have a degree, but was able, even some didn't get out of high school, was to take children and turn them into doctors, lawyers, or just decent people with nothing, and knew how to do that, which you cannot put that segment in with anybody else, because they didn't have the privilege, the money, the connections, the opportunities, but they somehow, and that's, look at all those women we honor. I think most of them came from a single mother who did not have nearly as education, but yet was able to grow these dynamic women in spite of. So I want to just keep reminding the young people, because right now I'm like, what do we do? What do we tell them? What do we tell them? So what has changed is just I'm even more eager to spotlight and shine that light, because it just keeps being dimmed over and over again.
So you've created the Leadership Awards for African American women. I remember I was in the first cohort. I'm still very proud of that. So what year was that? What year are you on now?
That was the 25 in business. Because really, we've had awards, but we didn't have the Leadership Awards. That really was the first Leadership Award. And this is about the 10th. I mean, that was the 10th. Yeah. But that was our first Leadership Awards. When we saw that sold out room, dynamic women all in one room, people talked about that event like months after we had it. So This is, it may, well, it's 2026, it may be the 11th year, but yeah, we didn't always have a leadership awards. But once we had that, we just kept going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. And I remember you saying, even at that one, you were like, oh, we're just doing this one time. And then I kept but yes, but I've always that's always been one of the awards I was very proud of. Also, too, to my surprise, all of my sisters bought tickets and attended.
I
know that they were coming. So that was also great for me, for them to see me
yeah.
being the baby sister.
Well, you were the youngest one though. So you were still a baby.
I still wasn't
still a baby. Great. And there's something how we put each woman on the cover of the mock cover of a magazine. So because when I was young, I want to be a cover of a magazine, and then I didn't know it would be my own magazine. But
right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I still have it up, and I still have my silver box.
Well, we cannot find those boxes anywhere anymore. We have about 4 left. Now we have about 4 left of those boxes because the store went out of business, and so and they sparkled so much, and I think you all got the best gifts too because you got full products.
Yeah.
But, those silver. What happened to the silver boxes? Because we believe in leveraging what we do to help others. We decided we're going to raffle those boxes off to a nonprofit, and we've been doing it the last 4 years. The last 2 years, we gave $1,000 to a nonprofit organization, and that may not be much, but when you small, need some stamps.
Oh no, yeah, I still take $1,000. I'll still accept it. But let's talk about the award show. So, you're having another one this year. So tell us about the 2026 Leadership Awards that honors women who lead with purpose and vision. So tell us about that, where it is, what can we expect, how can we get tickets?
This is going to be May the 7th at a new location because we outgrew the space. We try to tell people over and over again, register early. And we sold out each year. So we're now at the Rockwell Park. It's a new building in Point Breeze. Oh, okay. There are 17 women, so diverse, these women. And it's a combination of a celebration of them and our 35 years and other women who are in business. And it's timely because of what's going on right now. So we have them getting their award, getting their accolades, and people love it when their family gets to see them. Because sometimes, like you said, when we struggle, they're like, "What is she doing over here?"
Right.
And when's she going to get a job? Oh, there's so many people like, where you get a job?
Or you make money doing this?
Yeah. Okay. So to have people see you, and also sometimes, no matter how hard we work, we still sometimes fall back on our worth. Like, why am I doing this? There's the self-doubt creeps up. When you got about 200, 300 people in the room saying, "Yay, we see you," because we are feeling very unseen. And when we show up, there's this branding that, oh, well, she only there for, like, no, we work hard.
How many honorees do you have this year?
We have 17 honorees.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, the year yours was 25, Henry.
Really?
Yeah. Was it 25? Because it was our anniversary, 25.
Wow. Well, you know what? It didn't even feel like there was 25 of us because it ran so smoothly.
And you know why? Because nobody gets to say anything.
Oh, is that I remember also having the opportunity to meet women that I heard about, read, and we were all in one room. Even my table, I remember the people at my table, either I knew but really didn't get a chance to talk to, heard of, or may have hooked me up somehow.
Right. You never met them.
And never met them. So it was also, not only was it a great honor, but it was a awesome opportunity to meet women that you hear about but don't have easy access to. Just because
someone said that on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
they said, when you post these promos, it's something. Pittsburgh is small, but I still didn't know those women.
Right.
I said, well, that's good. I said, make sure you meet them when you can.
So when selecting for the Onyx Woman Leadership Awards, what moves you beyond titles and accolades? What makes you say this woman embodies the spirit of Onyx Woman?
They have to have some impact on other women. Mm-hmm. They have to, within their mission, there has to be somewhere where they have lifted up other women, and that gives us a priority to say, okay, that's a person we want to honor.
I like it. And you've built this platform that amplifies the achievements of African-American women. Why is visibility still such a powerful currency, especially for Black women in leadership?
You know, because it's still the unseen thing that we feel very much unseen, no matter how hard we work. And so I want to just keep making sure we see them. And then it's a very important that young people see them, because when I was younger, it was Black enterprise that showed me these women. I knew I'd never meet them, or at least I didn't think I would. But just the mere fact, when you came from like the inner city and your mom, like my mother barely had a ninth grade education. When you come from that and you don't see the role models, but so it's great when Black enterprise was like, oh, here they are. So I want to do the same thing. You know, here they are right here. They came from the same background, but yet they made it happen. And I'm surprised that so many Black women have PhDs. I remember going through our list and I said, you know, I can't use all these women because people are going to think you only have to have a PhD. I was in the elevator with a woman yesterday. She said, I get my PhD from Carlo. I was like, wow, because you know, I'm not getting a PhD. You know, no, I am done.
I'm not either. When I got my degree, my Bachelor of Arts degree, I was done. As I walked the stage, I knew then I was done.
I was done. Look, I tried to quit. I mean, college. I was so not into academia because that was more creative.
Right.
I used to pray to God to help me quit this school because I did not want to do it. That was not how I learned.
Right.
And so when I hear this, I'm like, how many doctors we got in here? So I'm amazed at the people, what it takes to go to a whole other level. And I'm amazed at all of them equally, because you know the stuff that you go through but don't talk about.
Right, exactly. For someone who's attending or plans to attend the 2026 Onyx Woman Leadership Awards reception on Thursday, May 7th, it's from 6 to 9, correct?
Right.
What kind of room are they walking into? What will they feel that night?
This is going to have a different feeling because the atmosphere is different. We have a bigger room. So we're going to have different rooms within a room. It's going to be just so inviting, so engaging. And we help to create opportunities to do things while they're there. Like, I don't like to go in and sit down and wait for my food to come. I mean, I like to, it's just something else I could be doing that engages me to people that I don't know. And so that's what it's all about. It's going to be a whole different visual atmosphere. And we always make it quick, you know. And so, and the opportunity to participate in that raffle, because people want to help. They want to help these other women, and maybe they had no opportunity before, but now they get to do it. And I'm glad that I'm glad that we're able to say, you know, this isn't about just us. Can we bring in a smaller organization and give them this money?
I like it. I like it. As you celebrate 35 years under your visionary leadership, what does the next decade look like for Onyx Woman? What legacy are you building now?
Well, I pivoted again because now, once we have this event, we have at my age for older women, I kind of stop and I move on to build more of the platform for aging women and self-care and more of your stylish ways. We have a YouTube channel called the New Network TV, and it's basically for mature women, and we say new opposed to old. And new is the acronym for nurturing evolving women. And so I really plan to focus on that platform even more.
So give us the details again, the where, the what, the time, everything, tickets. Where can people get their tickets? Because as you said, it's been selling out really since the inception of it.
Right.
So give us all those details.
It is going to be May the 7th of this year at the Rockwell Park. Now it's a new building in Point Breeze. So if you have never heard of it, this is my first time hearing about it. You can go to onyxwoman.com to register. I think we're almost halfway full, and we're still in February. So we encourage people. I know folks like to hold to the money a little longer, but no, get in early. When we honored you that day, somebody called in that morning because they had not gotten their registration for their wife who was being honored the same day. I said, for real? He said, yeah, do you have anything? I'm like, well, how can I turn you down? I got to squeeze you in there. Your wife is being honored.
It was already kind of a small venue, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Thursday, May 7th,
Right.
6 to 9, Rockwell Park, which is a new building in Point Breeze.
Right.
The address is 7514 Thomas Boulevard, which I do know where Thomas Boulevard is, so that's good. Registration, they visit the website onyxwoman.com. And we definitely want them to register early because, again, since the very first one, it always sells out. This is a kind of a buffet reception and award ceremony, right? All right. And anything else we need to know?
And come out and lift these women up, because with all that's going on and them being put down, you're saying, no, we ain't having it.
I know we have, and I'm not sure if I'm putting you on the spot, just let me know. We do have a few minutes left. Are you able to share with us who is being honored? I know you said 17 names, but are you able to read?
Curtis Dean Walker will get the Lifetime Achievement Awards. Jamita Brown, Poston, Woman of the Year. Michelle Johnson, Entrepreneur of the Year. We have Tennille Dorsey, Style Icon of the Year. Faye Blair, Kenya Boswell, Valda Brazil, to name a few. Angela Mike. I can't get everybody, but those are some of the people who we are going to spotlight. We are so looking forward to it. And I know people always get awards, but I think we always need a reminder because it gets tough.
And that's an impressive list of name right there. And I like your awards too, because there are women who are more public.
Right.
Their job is more public. So you're like, okay, of course you got awarded. But you also award people who are behind the scenes,
the unsung heroes.
We know they're there, but we don't see them as much as public face. So I like that there is a mix. There's the doctors, there's the people that don't have their doctorate.
The everyday folks who are just like the unsung heroes who just need to be put out there and reminded that, you know what, you are worthy in spite of what's going on in the world today. And that's discouraging in itself.
Right. But we're all in one room together. And
right.
That's what makes it even more powerful.
We encourage people to meet people because we assume that because Pittsburgh is so small that we know people. And I'm surprised when I didn't know she was ahead of that. So
right.
That's why we have the O Show.
right. So people can know these movers and shakers.
Yes.
This is awesome. One thing I do want to just kind of go back to really quick again, got a couple more minutes. You were talking about how in keeping the brand of Onyx Woman, how you did pivot and you tried new things. And I think a lot of times, especially for people who are interested in entrepreneurship, they think that their first vision or idea, they have to stick with it.
Right.
They don't leave room for, well, let me try it this way. Or maybe it doesn't have to be A, B, C, D. Maybe I should start with E, F, G.
Take a detour. I would say you don't have to say you quit. Take a detour. What I do is because my mind is racing all the time, I keep a book next to my bed. At this point, I have like 7 because I have to scribble something before it goes away. Let me scribble something. And I have to see things. So I can't just always type it. So I have to say, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's create some products. Okay, let's do this type of show. So I have it all there. And then I look at it and say, okay, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of this. Because what you don't want to do is have so many balls up in the air, you can only catch but so many.
Right.
And if something doesn't work, take a detour until you can make it happen. Everybody is trying to be in business today. And I'm going to tell you from what I know, a lot of people aren't making any money. And so you have to learn how to make money, because anybody could sew if they're a seamstress, or they can do whatever. But how do you make money doing it? I know for a long time I didn't make any money until I learned how.
Stuck with it, but you stuck with it.
I stuck with it.
And we're going to end it there. Onyx Woman founder Ola Jackson, so excited to have you with me today. And again, the Leadership Awards reception is Thursday, May 7th, Rockwell Park, 7514 Thomas Boulevard. That is in Point Breeze. Get your tickets today by visiting onyxwoman.com. This is Orlana. You've been listening to the O Show, and I look forward to seeing you again and talking with you guys soon. Keep shining.